Let's see if we can find that shit, chat. So 50 and Joe, let me see. 50 Cent Joe Budden. I think Joe told him to get therapy. And I think this primarily came off of Joe Budden analyzing 50 Cent's. 50 Cent said something about Irv Gotti dying. We know that's his op. And essentially, Joe, you know, he didn't really approve of it. All right, here we go. Oh, actually, here we go. Oh, and remember, this is all around the time when the Little Meat situation happened. So this is it.
Being said, I think it's wrong. I think niggas need help. Shit,
you,
we ain't even got to get to somebody dying. I thought him saying the Lil Meech, somebody who you acted like you cared about, somebody who you showed up for, was playing the mentor role for. Now whatever's going on with the show or Big Meech or yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. What show, little nigga? Kick rock. Like, to be able to turn so cold.
But why you saying acted? Like,
he's not acting.
Like, he's not acting. Like, you can care about somebody.
This nigga turned on his own son.
Yeah, no, hold on. You can care about someone and they can do something and you can...
Yo, the JBP must be popping, but they must be popping right now. But let me let y'all know the international rules of hip-hop. Stay out of 50 fucking business. That's the international rules of hip-hop. When 50 got some shit going on, it's deeper than what you think. When 50 start beefing with a nigga, whether it even be his son, you could be in disagreement. But it's probably a method to his madness, and also his way of dealing with shit might not be your way. Now, is everyone entitled to their opinion? I say yes. But you do run the risk of 50 turning his vitriol on you when you try to soapbox or try to tell him what he should do or not do. That is a fact. So it looks like if this is the only clip, maybe we can find a better clip. 50 Cent Joe Budden, Lil Meech. Maybe that's a clip. By the way, supposedly the clip has been subsequently deleted.
50 Cent needs therapy. I don't care if you agree with the rationale. And 50-50, he gonna stand in it. He gonna stand strong in it.
He is.
I look at it from both sides of the coin.
And if 50 feel like that, then go smoke a cigar in the cigar room. Publicly saying, damn, I want him to see my new shows.
Now, I'll say this. Joe, my mans. But Joe is suffering from the syndrome of, let me tell you this. I always tell people, when people be like, oh, yo, everyday struggle. I've said a few years ago, I don't think me and Joe could do another everyday struggle that y'all will like. We would always have great content, but y'all wouldn't like it. Y'all like the grumpy Joe that was the curmudgeon, if I'm saying that word right. That would be almost on his porch like, back in my days. Like, Joe ain't been like that since he got money. Joe sent me a picture of a Rolls Royce and a Ferrari that he owned. Joe is up with the rappers now. Joe don't feel like how y'all think he feel no more. Joe is one of the elites. When Joe was broke, and I'm not saying he was broke when me and him was doing it, but like when Joe didn't have the money and was barely scraping by and seeing these guys getting whatever, yes, he had that curmudgeon like type of atmosphere and attitude. These days, I see why Joe is saying, 50, you're rich. Why the fuck do you care about that? Here's the problem. 50's shown us at every opportunity that money, and it's probably because we've known him for over 20 years and he's got money. Money never trumps his loyalty. He will crash out. He will sacrifice the money for the loyalty. He had Game signed to him. And when he felt Game wasn't loyal, he said, I'm good with this. You think it wasn't financially more lucrative for him to say, I'm going to fuck with Game, despite him doing that bullshit? I'll just keep it as an arm distance. No, fuck that. You ain't G-Unit no more. I don't fuck with you, despite what money I could make with you. 50 is a man of principle. That's the reality of it. Joe is rolling in dough these days. Joe is looking at it like, you know what he said? Go to the cigar room. Nigga, you're too rich to be caring about this. 50 never acted like that for 20 years. Maybe that's you now. You might act like that now. Again, not sending shots at my guy, nothing like that, but I'm just saying, the shit that would bother, like, I'm going to be honest, like, I've seen, and I guess this is my man's, so I hope I could give him friendly critique. The shit that bothered Joe when he wasn't in this financial place about hip hop, I don't think bothers him no more. That's why I keep saying that everyday struggle will be very different. The shit that bothered him back then does not bother him now. You get what I'm saying? Because he's not sitting here saying, yo, why is this nigga getting that? This nigga can't even rap. He don't know about this. He don't know about this. Joe don't give a fuck. But not everybody's like Joe. I heard Charleston White say some shit. This was like actually alarming. Not alarming, but I get it. He said, I used to hate on the niggas who did that. He said, until I could do it. He said, now I got my Cuban, I got this. He said, I used to say, fuck jewelry. Till I got the jewelry. That was honest, and I respected it. Because he admitted that some of the problems he had with some of the things that he was seeing was because he didn't have it. He wasn't blessed with that. The problems or whatever we think is with 50, I think 50 has acted the same way when he was broke as he is rich. And for that, this is why I say we should stay out of his business. Because I've seen 50 with some petty shit, and I've seen him kind of bring it back or not give a fuck. But when 50 cares about some shit, anyway.
Damn, I want him to see my new shows. I think it's wrong.
They've had real life beef. Just feel this way and just saying 50's wrong in this instance because a lot of people love Irv. It's not about Irv Gotti and liking Irv Gotti. If somebody says somebody that's, I think that's nasty. There are a lot of people.
Nah, y'all gotta chill. Y'all gotta chill. Well, you know, again, it's everybody has their opinion, so you know you can't tell these guys their opinions wrong. But I could see if Joe's seen, you know, if 50 seen that, I'd be like, how the hell y'all gonna tell me who I should chill with or not? I ain't gonna. I think everybody got a few people on their list that like, if this nigga just croak up and die tomorrow, I'm having a party. Yo, Jay Loper, say yo, Ak, I'm glad you back, dog. Shit, I'm glad I'm back too, man. I love you, brother. All right.
Who base what's right and wrong based on whether we like this person or not. That is a fact. That is true.
I love Fif, but when I saw that, it made me feel bad seeing that in Irv picture because got family and stuff like that.
Right. 50 Cent needs therapy. I don't care if you agree with the fuck is being said. I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong.
All right, so that happened, and then a barrage of 50 posts went up about Joe, and I actually felt bad. Because being as an outlet that do report and, you know, put out certain stuff, I was like, first of all, I knew these were AI images. And, you know, now that I think about it, we should probably have put these are AI because I don't know if people thought these were really Joe pictures. But what ended up happening is that 50 heard that. I don't know how he hears it. That's the thing. Like, even when I'm talking about Fif now, I don't think Fif is listening to Akademiks stream. I don't know how he gets his information. Like, when it comes to, like, people like Kendrick, like, I've heard what Kendrick listens to, right? Like, so that's how he gets his information. I know Drake watches clips. I know that. I've talked to the teams of many rappers who tell me how other people get their information. I don't know how 50 Cent gets his information. I think that's, like, the interesting part. Let's see if we can find it. Okay, so the first thing 50 said was, stay out my mix, Joe. Talking about I need therapy. Bitch, you need to stop walking around naked. The fuck is you doing in the hallway with your balls out? Punk! Yo, 50 has a way of just making even a caption sounds like super aggressive, right? Then he started posting these. By the way, these are AI pictures. They're not Joe. It says, the fuck is you doing over there naked, Joe? How you open a damn door if you sleep, fool? Nah, fuck that. You try it again, perv. By the way, just to be very clear, the story goes that people are mentioning this about Joe either intoxicated. I don't know if he was intoxicated, but he was sleeping, walks to the wrong door, thinking it's his door. He's trying to get in. People like, who's trying to get in our door? They realize it's Joe. I don't know if they knew Joe. Apparently they had something against Joe before. They think Joe was trying to break in. They call the cops. Joe realizes, like, via the security camera, he lives across the hall. He realizes, oh shit, that's why my car's not working or whatever. He goes to his apartment. Apparently he didn't have as much clothes on. I don't know if he was naked, but the cops came later. They investigated it. I think they ultimately dropped the case, but you know, at first they were like, oh, his lewdness, because apparently he was naked. He came out to say he sleeps naked. You know, I know we live right now in the K-Dot era where everybody supposedly is some sexual pervert or deviant. I'm not going to go say Joe Budden's a sexual pervert or deviant. I'm sorry. I'm going to say that this is a mistake. And, yeah, you know, the charges, if it was some serious shit, like this was a serial, like, perv, like I think they would have pursued charges more vigorously. And I think they realized, like, there's not much here, even though he clearly probably just made a mistake. You know what I mean? So they dropped it. So I got to point that out. This is not Joe, but whatever. It says, Joe, where the fuck you going? The Diamond Club in Bronx, nigga? You shot the fuck out, boy. And again, this is just like jokes by 50. Then there's another one. And he says, yo, Joe, I'm asking you one last time, the fuck wrong with you, punk? You scaring the kids. You get what I'm saying? I think that was the last one, right? Yeah. And then he ain't stopped, though. He ain't stopped. Oh, no, then Drake liked it. Oh, my God. Yo, Drake, bro. You know, last year this time I was trying to squash the beef with Drake and Joe. But I now realize it's personal. It's very much more personal than I ever thought it was. It's like really personal. Whatever. Okay. So that happened. And then apparently Joe Budden speaks on 50 Cent. So I guess he spoke on 50's antics about 50, you know what I mean, doing whatever. It says 50 response.
4 days.
Here we go.
Is a very, very valid excuse in my opinion. However, having a good time, right?
They thought that was 50 on your man ass. I'm like, no, they thought that was you.
That's the problem with the internet.
They thought that was real. I'm
That's
like,
the problem. That's
right
not
there,
Joe,
bro.
That right there is the problem with the internet.
What?
Like, my day was fine.
All right, ours wasn't. Yeah, like whatever happened to you, you don't get it.
It didn't change anything. Actually, quite the contrary, man. Like, I ain't one of the rappers. He do that shit. I make money. I get paid.
Yeah. Huh?
This is why I keep telling you about it. Yo, you see, let me tell you this. Money is a lubricant to many situations. If Joe was broke, he would have crashed out. Bro, Joe is good. Joe is up in the Ferrari dealership. Joe might buy a luxury jet. I'm being honest with y'all. Joe is getting major money. Right? Yo, let me tell you this. Joe is doing... Yo, I met some random person. Like, recently, I took my mom out to New York. I met some random person. They came up to me like, oh, shit, yo, Ak. Yo, man, y'all been fucking with so long. I fucking with since, like, everyday show, blah, blah, blah. And they give me the spiel, but I'm just chilling there listening. Like, oh, I work at blah, blah. So, yo, Joe be in there every week. This is like some high-end, like, spot you buy clothes or whatever in. Joe in there every week. Yo, Joe's doing good, nigga. And by the way, I'm happy for him. But I will say, I don't think Joe gives two fucks about these niggas if he's doing financially well. So, like, you know, I think sometimes people want to get that t-shirt or like that wife beater, Joe sweating, really upset. You ain't gonna get that when a nigga is living really good.
50 on your man ass, yo. 50 on your man ass. I'm like, no, they thought that was you.
That's the problem with the internet.
They thought that was real. I'm
That's
like,
the
yo,
problem.
man,
That
that's
right
not
there,
Joe, bro.
That right there is the problem with the internet.
What?
Like, my day was fine.
All right, ours wasn't. Yeah, it's like whatever happened to
Like
you,
nothing,
you don't get it.
It didn't change anything. Actually, quite the contrary, man. Like, I ain't one of the rappers. He do that shit. I make money. I get paid.
Yeah. Huh?
Shot him out
Anytime
there.
anyone, cook, nigga. Anytime one of them niggas with fucking 30 million, 50 million followers post me, good or bad, I get paid. If I have a problem with it, we getting lawyers involved. I'm like, what?
If it made dollars, it makes sense.
What you want me to do? Because that's illegal. But
Illegal?
yeah, you can't take all these AI pics and just start. That's what Shorty is going to court for. You can't do that. But I don't have a problem with it, and I think that's corny. And that's 50. I got all the respect in the world from. But if I get tired of it and it stops paying, then yeah, it's lawyer time. Yeah, then it's this shit.
So after days of being targeted, the 50s jokes, Joe Budden has finally responded a line that can't.
Okay. So it appears that Joe has threatened legal action, and I think this is what's happening is that there's actually some precedents about AI images or sounds lawsuit. There is some lawsuits that's actually popping up actually really prominently around the music industry, where Sony Music, Universal Music Group, and Warner, they're suing AI music generation companies like Suno or whatever for copyright infringement. Joe honestly would be in the realm of being able to sue 50 Cent for not only defamation, right? But he would probably be able to sue for copyright infringement, among other things, by 50 using AI images of Joe seemingly being in very compromising positions, where these positions here could damage Joe's brand. Again, there was a time Joe was known as a dust head or whatever the case is, that he really worked so hard to get away from. Yo, if you do that, and by the way, 50 is the king of lawsuits, but if you're doing this intentionally and maliciously, like, keep in mind what Joe said about 50 can't sue about. Yo, I think you need some therapy. Whether you disagree or, I keep saying the international law of hip hop, just stay out of 50 business. Cool. But that's not a crime. You can't sue over that. You doing this where you're saying that Joe is this perverted guy, right? You have a lot of money. This is a lawsuit. Absolutely. Now, obviously, I would imagine Joe is not trying to do, because now people think if you file a lawsuit, you're like Drake. So whatever. But essentially, that's what Joe said, which then turned to 50 Cent responding again. So 50 Cent actually deleted all those images, and he actually put this up. He says Joe Budden threatens to sue 50, and this was a clip 50 put up on his Instagram.
50 been posting me for 7 days in a row. Fucking what else happened? If I have a problem with it, we getting lawyers involved. Like, what you want me to do? Because that's illegal. But
Illegal?
yeah, you can't take all these AI pics and just start. That's what Shorty is going to court for. You can't do that. But I don't have a problem with it, and I think that's corny. And that's 50. I got all the respect in the world from. But if I get tired of it and it stops paying, then yeah, it's lawyer time.
Okay. Now, I understand Joe with the payment aspect of it, because I actually definitely believe that those people are looking into his podcast. Like, you know what I mean? Again, I don't know how his podcast is set up and what was happening, but Joe is, he's the beneficiary. I mean, I've been of like the battle with Drake and Kendrick. But at least at this point, when this type of negative attention, no matter negative or positive, yeah, my boy got a Patreon. My boy got, you got all type of stuff, prize picks, whatever. His money's going up. So I think he's like, yo, if I feel it's hurting my bottom line, I'm going to sue. I'm not going to lie. I agree with him on a business level. I think this was bad optically to say, because now it makes you sound exactly like what you've criticized. You've criticized Drake for his lawsuit. a nigga putting up a AI picture of you in a brief doesn't hold a candle to a man calling you a pedophile. Like, that is a very hurtful thing that any man with integrity would want to be the furthest from that and would probably crash out over that shit. So a lawsuit is the very least. So it's just to hear that being said and then not understanding, and I got a counter critique to it, so I'm going to argue with myself a second. Not understand why Drake might file a lawsuit. It's kind of like preposterous. However, his response, and I'm making up his response in my head. Drake suing Universal. Yeah, I think that's bullshit. I think he should have sued Kendrick. Kendrick's the one who said it. Kendrick is calling you a pedophile. Sue Kendrick. Feel what I'm saying? So I get that, but there is a lawsuit with Drake too, right? A nigga calling you a pedophile is a million times worse than a nigga putting an AI picture of you in your briefs, right? And if you would threaten a lawsuit for somebody doing that, why couldn't somebody threaten a lawsuit for somebody who's calling him a pedophile? Now, if you're saying that, oh, okay, Drake's lawsuit is valid, he just should sue the right person, I could get down with that. Because I think Universal will put out anything. They'll put out music making fun of people that's dead. They've made music that have capitalized off the hurt pain of other people. So trying to have them have a moral high ground at that point is crazy. But to sue the person who is calling you the name, which is Kendrick Lamar, yeah, I personally think Kendrick should have been sued by Drake. But I think Drake is doing like a really interesting thing where he's trying to keep it hip hop by not suing him. But I think that's why he's gonna lose. Sue the man who called you a pedophile, not the company who put it out. Because that company is going to come back with, well, we've put out you saying that he beat his wife. And we don't know about if that's true. We're just a distributor. We're not the person who is an arbiter of truth. Sue the person who said it. Anyway, so 50 posted a caption. He said, yo, so that's the plan? You going to sue me, Joe? Ha ha ha. I think you're mistaking me for someone else. I'm going to get a face-to-face with you so you can tell me about the therapy I need. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. When I seen this, I'm like, their beef seems a little bit deeper than what we might know. Because 50, I'm going to be honest with you, it's looked like Joe didn't want no smoke with 50. Looked like Joe he gave an opinion. I get it. Maybe he should stay out of his business, but like, he's covering topics. He runs a podcast. 50 didn't appreciate it, and 50 actually said, nigga, stop talking about me. Stop. Like, 50 is not laughing with Joe. We've all, and there's been many people with platforms, and I get it, Joe has an incredibly huge platform, but I've spoken about 50 in a way that maybe he wouldn't like. I don't think 50 is going after every single person that has spoken about him. I think 50 has something with Joe, honestly, where maybe he was, kind of teetering on that line, and this was the thing to say, stop fucking playing with me, nigga. Because not everyone just sucks Drake, not Drake, 50's dick and just be like, oh no, he's the greatest. No, people criticize him. But to see him give this response to Joe means that there might have been a few warning shots before or a conversation before where he told Joe, stop fucking talking about me like that, my nigga. Which I don't know. I have no idea. I don't think Joe has told us that. But there's one realm you could think, oh no, Joe got the biggest platform in the world and he only sees what Joe says. No, I think a lot of people with platforms that's either as big as Joe or close to it have spoken about 50. And spoken about 50 and said, nah, 50's wilding. You need to chill. Y'all nigga 50's wild. He's a nut. But also it might goes into another realm. 50 might be like, you know what? I don't know them niggas. I know you, nigga. You're not supposed to speak about me, which, by the way, becomes a habitual thing that when you're a former artist having a podcast, you're always going to run into where people feel like, yo, if other people say it about me and I don't know them, they could say it, but I know you can't say it. Or you were an artist just like me, you can't say that shit. So I don't know. We will see what comes out of this, but 50 was not impressed by this. He says, "Are you gonna sue me, nigga?" And look like he is not playing around. Holy shit. Anyway. Let me see. What y'all say? Somebody say 50 versus Ak is a real battle. Don't hype me up, nigga. I'm good. Trap Thought says, thank you for the 5, bro. Says Joe's argument for suing is going to be that he is no longer a rapper and doesn't follow street rap codes and doesn't claim to be tough like Drake. Drake don't claim to be tough. No, I disagree with y'all. I think Joe's disagreement with or most people, not only Joe, disagreement with Drake suing is that no matter what Drake is saying, they feel like Drake is suing because he lost a rap battle. Like, no matter what Drake says in his lawsuit, there's a few people who says, you're only suing because you lost. Those people are always going to be mad at the lawsuit. Now, if we look at the, veracity or not veracity, I'm using the wrong word again. If we're looking at, if this shit holds any weight and we look at the claims being made, what's being made is, y'all are using bots. Y'all are defaming me. He's not making this as a rap battle situation. He's saying, y'all did this to try to lower my value that I can't operate in this business as I normally do. I think if you look at it in that realm, but this is why I always told y'all about the lawsuit. I said, I can't come here and discuss and back Drake up on a lawsuit where I don't know his business. We're only speculating. You wanted allegedly 600. Maybe they came back and said, nah, 350, nigga. Drake ain't talking about that. So I can't defend that. So only thing I could defend is I got to defend as a fan. And I think as a fan, I don't think the lawsuit looks good. It's not good optically. We can't see how you're going to win. And we're not seeing any proof because I read the whole thing through and through. I ain't seen nothing. That's why I think he should defend it, but I don't think he cares to defend it. And if it holds if it holds some type of water, we will see it later. If it continues or gets dismissed. I personally think it's going to be settled. Private settlement. I think the public is going to think that Drake got this huge lump sum of money. I don't think Drake is going to get nothing. I think Universal is going to say, hey, check this out. We're going to settle this, but we got to re-up on your album anyway. I know we offered you $350. Remember our last offer was $450? We'll go up to $475. Let's end this fucking catfight and let's rock out. And Drake was going to be like, well, I really wanted $600. But you know what? All things considered, y'all realized y'all did some fuck shit and y'all came up a little bit more off of that price, maybe even close to $500, and they're going to do business. I don't think we're going to see the nitty gritty, drag him down, knock him out details in court at all. So that's my thought about lawsuits and shit like that. I think Joe, these other niggas who are talking about the lawsuit, they're speaking about the optics that it looks like Drake is suing because he lost. Like, oh, how dare y'all make me lose?